Hi everyone, my name is Kat, or the Free Librarian, and welcome back to a new reading vlog. I'm starting this vlog very late because it's Monday evening already. Usually I start on Wednesday. So, um, yeah. But that does mean that I have a lot to talk to you guys about because I did finish my last vlog on Wednesday. So, first and foremost, I finished Lustrum by Robert Harris, Conspirata, if you're in the US, which is the second book in the Cicero Trilogy. It's a reread for me. I love that series and I love it again. Um, it's it's so good. Um, I love Cicero in this. He's insufferable and I love him. And Pompeius, he's also insufferable and self-important and pompous. But the difference between him and Kikuro is that Kikuro is at least smart. um, I love him. He's so dumb. I love him. And I have Kaiser, who's very intelligent, but also manipulator, and he doesn't care about the law. He just wants his own glory. And I just, they're all portrayed so perfectly, and I love it. And I love the writing style in this book. It's so vivid and transportive, and I can see everything right in front of me. And it's so good. I haven't had that with any other book or author. This is the only series that I've read by Robert Harris. I should read one of his other books. I'll do that at some point. But yeah, I love his writing style. And I love the plot in this one. Um, I, the first time I read it, this was my favorite book. And this time around, I also liked it more than book one. I haven't reread book three, so I can't comment on that. But I like it just because, okay, the first century BC is such a messy time in history in Rome. And all of the books are set in the first century BC, but the particular years that this book spans are the most intense for Kikero and the most important for Kikero. This is what he's known for. I won't spoil it if you don't know much about Kikero and you want to go in blind. But this is what he's known for, or best known for, happens in this book. So it, I just love the mess in it. It's so messy. And it's very complicated and political, but I think Robert Harris does a great job in not making it overly convoluted, which it can soon get if you try and tell about this history. So it doesn't get overly convoluted, but it still has some nuance to it. I feel like it's not oversimplified. Kikuro also gets more called out for his crap than in the first book, in Imperium, because the story is told from Cicero's perspective, who is Cicero's secretary. In the first book, he really idolizes Cicero, and I was questioning him more, which I appreciate. So yeah, this book is pretty much perfect for me. I almost cried at the end. I love it. If you have never read the Cicero trilogy, please do yourself a favor and just read it. It's so good. Then I also finished the first part of Pandora by Susan Stokes-Chapman, which I don't own physically, but I don't know how many parts there are, but I finished part 1, and the thing is, I've read over 100 pages, but it doesn't feel like it because the story is very slow, but it doesn't feel like a slow story. Like, if you look back, they're like, oh my god, there have been 100 pages and barely anything has happened. But while you're reading it, it doesn't feel particularly slow. I should probably tell you what it's about. It's a retelling of the Greek myth of Pandora. It's set in the 18th century, so our main character, Pandora, whose parents owned an antiquity shop. And her parents have died, and her uncle has taken over the shop, but he has no respect for the antiquity and the good name that the Blake family, that's the name of the family, has. And basically he just sells worthless trash, basically. And Dora wants the former glory of the antique shop back. And she wants to make jewelry. That's her big dream. But she's a woman in the 18th century, and then there's her uncle, who's also not very supportive of her because all he thinks about is money. So she's extremely unhappy. But then one day, her uncle gets a very special shipment that he wants to keep secret. And things go from there. The writing style is gorgeous in this one. It feels old-timey in a lot of ways, but the thing is, they use so many difficult words and so many words that I don't know because I'm reading it in English, which is not my native language, so it's just taking me so long to read it. But I really, really like it. So yeah, I like the characters, and I love. I don't know, it's really good. There's a good atmosphere in it, good vibes. So I'm really enjoying that. Then I'm also reading House of Leaves by Danielewski, which it's complicated and it's weird and the formatting is where if you know anything about this book, you know that. But yeah, I really, really enjoy it. Chapter 9. What was that? Um, I, it took me a moment to even know where to start on those pages because they were very. Wait, maybe I can show you. They looked like this, and I didn't even know where to start. For a second there. So that was, yeah. But we have footnotes, which there's one perspective told in the footnotes, and I do struggle a little bit with that perspective. Well, I really enjoy it. It's very stream of consciousness, and I do struggle with that. It's not something I used to. It sometimes we're at the end of a passage of his, and I don't even remember how we even got to that point because we started somewhere completely different. So yeah. But there's also a lot of sex in his record, and not necessarily explicit sex scenes, but also just him thinking about sex and him talking about sex. And I'm not a huge fan of that, but usually those things don't last too long. Like every time I think like, okay, we're fine now, then that's the end of the scene. So that's fine. But there's a lot of it. So nothing really explicit, but just if you don't like male gazy descriptions of women, you're not gonna like his perspectives. But I do feel like it's very much the character and not the author doing that. So I don't mind it as much. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I am. What would that be? I don't know. Somewhere between 2/3 and halfway through. So I'm really enjoying this. It's a lot of fun. And it's almost like a puzzle, which I do quite enjoy. And then the last book that I am currently reading that I would like to finish this week. I don't know if this vlog is gonna. I don't think that this vlog is gonna be realistic. I don't think that this month is gonna be realistic because it's the 27th and it's evening, so there's not much month left to finish this. But that is Emerald Green by Kerstin Gier. I am just loving this. This is such a comfort series for me, and I love it. And I know that it's not perfect by any means, but I don't care. I love it. I love the atmosphere. I love the vibes. I love it all. And this has given me an idea for a video. Because there's a video series that I've been thinking about doing, and I have one video almost completely planned out. I just need to film it, and this one gave me an idea for another one, and I have an idea for either one or two more, depending on how things go. So I don't know when that will happen. I don't know if that will actually happen, but it's a series that I would like to make. So it probably will happen at some point. I just don't know when. So like next year maybe we'll come like, hey, you remember I said that I was gonna do this thing? Here it is. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm halfway through now. It reads super fast as well. This book, which is partly because it's a reread, which I tend to read faster anyway, but also just the book itself reads so quickly. So yeah, if you've never read this series, I also recommend. So that's what I'm reading. I have my goal for this week, as I said, was to finish Emerald Green. I'm going to continue House of Leaves because it's a buddy read, but like paced buddy reads with a piece every day. I still have to do my chapter for today. So that will happen. And I would like to start The Duke and I by Julia Quinn, which is the first book in the Bridgerton series, which was on my 2023 TBR, and I'm excited about because I also have a Bridgerton themed party coming up that I'm thinking of going to, so it'd be fun to read it around that time. So I would like to start this week. I don't have to get very far into it necessarily, but I just want to have started it because I keep putting it off and I don't know why, and I just want to do it. So yeah, that is the beginning of the vlog. I'll see you again in my next update. Bye. Okay, let's just go with this angle, whatever it is. Hi, it is Tuesday now. It's Tuesday evening, and I am behind on everything. First and foremost, I'm behind on schoolwork because I usually do it like the same day of the week. I do the same thing, but this week, one of my classes that I usually have on Thursday got moved to Tuesday. So today, so I had less time today. So I didn't get to do what I wanted to do, but I will have more time on Thursday, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm also behind on schedule for House of Leaves. So I've barely read anything yet. I don't have more updates. I have read more of Emerald Green. I am now about 2/3. There are 2 reveals coming that I know about because I've read it before. So obviously, and one of them has been really nice just knowing that there's one character and their actions make so much sense if you know that thing, and it shows that the author has just planned this thing out from the very start of the series, which is excellent. So that's been really fun to see that. There's another reveal that I know is coming, and I'm not looking forward to that one. So far, I've kind of been able to ignore it, but I don't want to. I'm dreading it. I don't want it to happen. Oh, I wish that the book just change, and then the thing doesn't happen. That'd be perfect. but I know it won't. So I'm not looking forward to that reveal. But other than that, I'm really loving it. I also went to the bookstore because initially I wanted to pick up Malice by John Gwynne, which they didn't have, which kind of rude, but I had expected it because what I swear at some point there has been a conspiracy between all booksellers in the world that they would all, and they decided that all of them would have Bloodthorn Saga, but none of them would ever have Faithful and Fall. You can't convince me otherwise. I swear that that is a conspiracy that's going on. Which, rude. I mean, I expected it, so it could have been worse, but still rude. So then I had a backup plan because I'd expected I wouldn't have it. Then I wanted Grace of Kings, and I'd been to that place last week, and I know that they had Grace of Kings, but now they didn't anymore. They had the rest of the series, so their copy it just sold in the meantime, obviously. So I asked, and they'd ordered a new one, but it wouldn't be there until like next week. So that's route number 2. It's a one-star copy. And then route number 3, I had a backup plan for that backup plan because originally I was kind of hesitant what I wanted to get. Grace of Kings or one book that I did get, which is Jade City. But I knew that they had Grace of Kings. I wasn't sure if they had this one, so I went with Grace of Kings in my head. And at first I thought they didn't have this one because I didn't see it until I saw that it was in the YA section for whatever reason, which I haven't read it obviously, but from what I've heard, this is not YA in the slightest. So that was weird, but I guess fantasy written by a woman, so it's YA. So that was route number 3. And then on the way to the counter, I noticed that Jeanette McGurty's memoir was in fiction, which was weird. I wasn't there to pick up that memoir. I don't really care about it. And now I notice that this is just printed on it. It's not a sticker. So that's also rude. But yeah, that's sad. I picked up a second book because you can never leave a bookstore with only one book. So I picked up The Stardust Thief as well by Chelsea Abdullah. I've heard great things about this. I'm really excited about both of these. Yeah, I they probably won't be read until like 10 years from now because that's how TBRs work, or buying books works. But yeah, I do want to read them sometime soonish. I hope. We'll see. Especially this one, I'm so excited about right now. It's like Middle Eastern inspired fantasy, which sounds so good. So, yeah, that was today. I'm now going to sit down and read some more of House of Leaves. and then after that, maybe I read some Emerald Green. I don't know. Just because that's a bit easier on my brain than House of Leaves. So I don't want to read reading House of Leaves for bed. So I'll probably read some more of that as well, and then I'll go to bed. And so I will see you tomorrow. Hi, it's Wednesday now, and I wanted to take a quick moment to end the vlog here. I don't really have any updates for you guys. I pretty much had everything I wanted to say in the last clip. So it'll be just a wrap up of what I've read. I finished Lustrum, which I really, really enjoyed. I am almost done with Emerald Green. So it'll be finished by the end of the week. So stay tuned for the next vlog. I got halfway through House of Leaves, which I'm also really loving. I've got to a point where sometimes parts of words or parts of sentences are missing, and it's driving me absolutely insane. But other than that, I'm really loving it. So, and I also got to the end of part 1 of Pandora, which I'm also really loving, so I'm having a great time in terms of reading. I think that's everything I read this week. So yeah, that is the end of the vlog. I'm gonna try and make this brief because I have to leave in a bit. So I will see you in the next vlog, maybe. Bye.